praying for her, of course. I've been told that it's going to be some time before we can get Nicole back behind that desk, but in the meantime, we were very fortunate in finding a wonderful replacement for her, Nancy Carr.
Here I am, ready for my interview. Oh, excuse me.
Raven, this is Martine Duval.
I believe I've seen you before.
Have you? Really?
Yes, at a restaurant with Mrs. Saxon's nephew.
Oh, that's very possible. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get your name very well.
Oh, I am so sorry. Martine, this is Mrs. Raven Swift.
Yes, but I probably won't be Mrs. Swift too much longer because my divorce papers came in the mail this morning. So it looks like I'm free to choose a new name and a new life.
Well, I'm sorry, but I really must be going.
I told you it would be just a short tour, Martine. We have just a small station here, so our facilities are somewhat limited.
Oh, but I have been very impressed. I had no idea you actually produce your own shows.
If they're modest, yes.
I hear you're going to star in one of your own shows.
Yes, in a month or so, I hope.
We're hoping to cover the opening of the new theater. It's going to be quite a cultural event for Monticello, having its own dance company.
I'm really looking forward to it. I hear you're a wonderful dancer.
Did you?
Yes, Sky told me. And he's supposed to have excellent taste.
I see. Well, I'm sorry, but I really must be going. I really hope to see you soon.
My dear, you can count on it.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mrs. Swift.
She's lovely, isn't she?
That accent for real.
But of course, she was born in France.
Oh. I suppose men find that intriguing. Maybe I ought to work on an accent along with my new name.
You're really serious about changing your name?
Well, none of my old names mean very much. I mean, I was Raven Alexander. Both my parents died. I was Raven Jameson. My husband died. I was Raven Swift, and we know what happened there. Don't you think I should start again?
My dear, changing your name is the least important thing in your life.
You're probably right. Well, I won't make you sit here and listen to me any longer, so why don't you tell me where my interview is, and I'll stop bothering you.
We have plenty of time. Nancy isn't here yet, and of course she'll be handling the interview. Raven, I'm sorry to see you still so upset.
Well, I've just been thinking about what happened. Do you realize that I almost literally died?
But you didn't. So you should look at it as a new chance at life.
Well, I just don't know where to start. I mean, I've been imagining new places and new cities, but it'll just be the same thing. I'll still be alone.
But new places are always lonely until you start making friends.
Well, I'll just feel lost somewhere else. I mean, everyone in this town may hate me, but at least they know me.
Oh, Raven, please.
Well, you don't have anything to worry about. Everyone adores you. You have hundreds of friends.
Oh, my dear, do you really think that hundreds can be friends? That a whole army of acquaintances can make up for one loving companion? Oh, no, my dear. Take my word for it. My happiness never depended on hundreds. I depended on my family for that. And now they're all gone. Either dead or out of my life for some reason or other. Don't you think I know what it is to be lonely just as you do? Don't you think I know what it is to come home to an empty house with nothing but silence for company? Raven, would you consider living with me?
What?
No, never mind. It was just a thought. I'm sure the idea repels you.
Wait a minute. Did you just ask me to live with you?
No, it was just an impulse. I'll not mention it again.
Oh, you were just feeling sorry for me. Of course, why would you want to live with me? We've done nothing but argue for the past few years.
Well, you had your temperament and I had mine. But somehow we managed to survive without hurting each other too much. And there were times when we even enjoyed our company.
I would love to live with you. Do you know my own mother didn't want to live with me? I just realized Nadine never once asked me to live with her.
Do you mean to say that you might consider it?
I would love to. It would make me very, very happy.
All right, Raven. Let's just consider it an armed truce.
Space, because this is only a fraction of what I have.
Don't worry about it, Raven. This suite has plenty of closet space. Just leave everything here and we'll sort it out later.
Well, that's what I intend to do because I'm exhausted. I don't think I'll have the energy to unpack for a day.
Well, please don't be concerned. There's plenty of time.
Seems so strange. My husband lived here, my baby has lived here, and now I'm moving in.
I wish I had time to help you unpack, but I'm due at the station.
Well, I don't want to keep you.
It's probably just as well that you have some time to yourself anyway to get adjusted to your new surroundings.
Geraldine, thank you so much. It was wonderful of you to ask me to stay here. And I promise you, you don't have to worry. I'm not going to make any trouble, even if I have to change my entire personality.
Oh, Raven, please don't do that. I want to recognize you when I get home. I must run now. I'll be home around 8. We'll have dinner sent in from room service. Raven, I'm very glad you're here.
Yes. It's going to be very nice here.
Come in.
Want me to bring the car around, Mr. Whitney?
No, that won't be necessary, Gunther. I'm not going into the studio today. They're just going to have to manage without me.
Yes, sir. If you think that's a good idea.
And you don't, is that it? You think that if the cat's away, the mice may play? Well, I tell you what, Gunther, you go to the studio for me and keep an eye on the mice.
Well, I wasn't thinking of Mr. Wiley.
What were you thinking of? You were thinking of Martine's new doctor friend, is that it? Tell me, Gunther, are you sure about what you told me the other day, that Martine visited Dr. Cavanaugh when Jody Travis wasn't there?
I'm quite sure, sir.
They may have been waiting for the girl to arrive.
It's possible. Anything's possible with Miss Duval.
You really think there's something going on, isn't there?
I've seen certain signs. There's one thing I am certain of, Mr. Whitney. The doctor himself is very taken with Miss Duval.
I hear he's got a beautiful wife.
A sick wife, Mr. Whitney. She's been in the hospital several weeks with little hope of recovery. He must be getting very lonely.
All right, that's enough. I don't want to hear any more about Dr. Cavanaugh. I want you to take care of things for me, Gunther. You're very good at taking care of things.
Yes, sir. I'll do that.
Well, isn't this a pleasant surprise?
Took the words right out of my mouth. Come in.
Thank you.
I assume you came here to see your aunt.
Yes, we were going to get together to make arrangements for some theater parties after the opening of my dance company. What's all this? Is someone moving out?
In, and it's me.
Well, isn't that interesting? And how did all this come about?
Well, I got tired of living alone, and so did she, and we've been friends for years and years.
Oh, yes, that's right. You told me that you used to live at the old Whitney mansion, and now you're going to be living with Geraldine here?
Well, as long as she'll have me. Or until Prince Charming shows up at the front door on his white horse.
I don't believe they allow horses through this lobby.
Well, I don't believe there are any more Prince Charmings.
Oh,
Well, sit down. I'll get us a drink.
well, that'd be very nice.
Okay. Yes, I think I shall have one. I'm in a very festive mood.
Well, you're certainly looking very well.
I am?
I hear that you've been through some very harrowing experiences.
Yes, I have. What would you like? We only have bourbon.
That would be fine, thanks.
Get it. Well, first I was shot at, and then I had to go to April's house because Molly Sherwood, the killer, went there, and I had to go warn her.
Well, that really was very brave of you, risking death the second time around.
Just don't get the wrong impression that I'm one of these pioneer-type women.
Oh, doesn't that image please you?
Well, it's not true. I happen to be one of the most whimsical women you'll ever meet.
Really? Well, you certainly don't seem whimsical. I mean, just a few days ago, you were being shot at by some crazy lady.
Yes.
Here you are, looking your best, hauling around dozens of pieces of luggage.
Well, I am helpless. The reason I'm moving here is because I don't want to be alone.
Oh, I'm sure that there must be hundreds of men in this town that would love to keep you company.
Yes, well, there's no one whose company I'd like.
Does that include present company?
No. However, I assume that your time is not your own.
Everything about me is my own. How would you like to get together and have dinner one night next week?
With Geraldine?
No, just the two of us. And then you can tell me more about your experiences. I'd love to hear about them firsthand.
Well, I would like that very much, but are you sure no one will mind?
Cheers.
All right. Where's my missing woman? Come on, Raven, where are you?
How many cups of coffee should I send out for?
One is sufficient, thank you.
One for you, one for me, and one for Sky.
Don't bother with the third cup.
Oh, is Sky swearing off caffeine?
Well, I think that Sky won't be joining us, at least not until later on today.
You mean the world's richest watchdog is off duty today?
Sky is out of town on business. See you, okay?
Help yourself.
What time is it?
Oh, about 8:30.
So early? I thought tycoon types like you weren't supposed to get up until noon.
Well, many of them don't. That's why I like to get an early start on things to beat my competition to the punch.
Do unto others before others do unto you.
Something like that.
You know, a girl could get used to living like this.
I am your humble servant. Your wish is my command.
Well, my wish may not get you out of here until well after noon.
Well, let me just make it official here. Good morning. You look as lovely now as you did last night.
You liar.
Did you enjoy the evening?
Yes, I did. Immensely.
Well, I'm glad. I wanted our first little get-together to be something special.
Well, it was. We're just gonna have to do this more often.
Well, those are my sentiments precisely.
Except I know you're such a busy man, and you do have a commitment.
Well, sometimes my commitment has commitments. Martine has got very little free time right now, and she's going to have even less once we begin auditions and rehearsals, and practically none once we open.
I see. So I am the side dish.
I do want to see you again, Raven.
Well, I don't know if I want to see you again.
Isn't it a little late to play hard to get?
It's just that I don't like the idea of being in someone's harem, especially not when I'm in the second spot.
Well, that's hardly the case.
And another thing is, I'm not accustomed to sharing my men.
Human beings are very adaptable creatures, Raven. You'll get used to it.
And if I don't?
Well, that's your prerogative.
I see. So, I can take it or leave it, huh?
You'll have to excuse me now, Raven. It's time for me to put my nose to the grindstone and perhaps earn another $1 million. Perhaps 2, even, if I put in a little overtime. Gunther will drive you home.
443 Harrison Avenue, is that correct?
Yes, that's it. And thank you for letting me sit in the front seat with you.
Hey, my pleasure, my pleasure. You want to hear some music?
No. It was very nice of you to take me home.
That was Mr. Whitney's compliments, ma'am.
Well, Mr. Whitney was very generous, wasn't he?
Yes, ma'am.
He must be a very nice man to work for.
We get along, yeah, we get along.
He's also told me that he's very fond of you.
Well, that's very nice to hear, ma'am. Thank you.
How long have you worked for him?
About 1.5 years, give or take a month or 2.
And when did you first get together?
Well, I was working for a rather influential businessman in Europe, and Mr. Whitney had some dealings with him. That's how we met.
What did you do for this influential businessman?
Oh, might say I was in the personal protection line.
You were a bodyguard?
Well, that would be a more accurate description.
That must be a very dangerous business.
Well, you know, there were a couple of attempts by some political radicals to abduct the gentleman I was working for.
My goodness.
And I thwarted those assaults, and not one person got hurt.
Sounds like you are a hero.
Nah. Just doing my job.
Well, I'm sure it's no fun to wake up in the morning and go to work and be afraid that you're going to have your kneecap shot off.
No. That's not why I quit. See, I didn't like my employer, and Mr. Whitney made me a very generous offer.
I'm sure he did. And I can imagine that someone in Mr. Whitney's profession would need protection, so I assume that you are his bodyguard, too?
Well, I assist Mr. Whitney in any way I can.
Yes, like chauffeuring his lady friends around.
No, ma'am.
You can admit it. I know all about Martine Duval, and I know that they're living together. Tell me something, Gunther. What do you know about this Martine?
Well, I hear she's a very talented dancer.
Do you like her?
It doesn't really matter whether I like her.
Sounds like you don't like her.
Artists, they're temperamental, you know.
So, do you think this relationship they have is going to be permanent?
I really couldn't say, ma'am. But I doubt it.
Oh, you do you?
Well, you know, Mr. Whitney strikes me as a very changeable person.
So you think he'll get tired of her?
Mr. Whitney appreciates loyalty, ma'am.
Oh, really? And you don't think Miss Duval is going to be loyal? Tell me more.
I think I've said enough, ma'am.
Gunther, mum's the word. I wouldn't mention a word of what we've been talking about.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, this has been a most enjoyable little chat.
I'm very glad, ma'am.
And I also find you a very interesting man.
Well, thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Gunther, I think that you and I are going to be great friends.
Oh, poor Mike, my God. All right, now where's my missing lady? Hello, Mrs. Saxon?
Yes.
This is Derek Mallory. Could I speak to Raven, please?
Oh, she's Mallory. Well, I'm so sorry she isn't here.
Well, I was under the impression she never got up out of bed until afternoon.
Yes, well, actually, you just missed her, unfortunately. She said something to me about an early morning appointment.
Well, I'm going to be tied up myself with appointments all day, but I'll try to call back. Would you tell her I phoned?
Oh, yes, indeed I will. And have a pleasant day.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Early morning appointments indeed.
Good morning.
Well, the prodigal roommate returns.
Oh, it seems as if someone got out of the wrong side of the bed.
Really? Whose? You've just received a telephone call from Derek Mallory.
Really? What did you tell him?
I told him that you had just gone out.
Oh, good. How discreet of you.
You know, I really don't like lying for you, Raven.
Oh, what Derek doesn't know won't hurt him.
Now, I realize that you have taken up residence here just a short time ago. But I find it very difficult to believe that already you have forgotten the address and that it took you all night long to find your way home.
I'm a big girl now, Geraldine.
Yes, and altogether too independent for your own good.
Oh, well,
sometimes.
I don't know what I did that was so terrible.
Now, don't misunderstand me. I am not passing judgment on your behavior.
Thank you.
But if we're going to be together, well, I would like to be shown a certain amount of consideration.
Like what?
If you're going to be out all night, I would like to know that in advance.
Well, I don't know what the big deal is.
Raven, this city is not the safest place to be after the sun goes down. Now, much as it surprises me, I do worry about you.
You're very sweet. All right, I'll make you a deal. I'll do as you ask if you let me know when you're going to stay out all night.
It's a deal.
All right. I really didn't expect the evening to go the way that it did, but I'm very glad it did.
Well, I think you should get some rest. I'm expecting a visitor shortly, and we'll try not to disturb you.
Oh, I'm not going to go to bed. I've rested quite enough. I'm going to change and go back out.
Oh. Well, in that case, perhaps I should install a revolving door.
Don't worry. I'm going to go out and do something cultural.
That's a good idea. You know, it's such a pleasure to be able to make these decisions without having to go to his lord and master for his approval.
Especially since his knowledge of the dance is very limited.
There were a couple of dancers he didn't want to hire last week, and they were wonderful.
I know.
I think he just wanted to be contrary.
Well, I'm afraid Sky is like that sometimes.
Yeah, well, hopefully the Springfield airport will be socked in with fog, and it'll stay that way for a week.
Socked in with fog.
Hello? Can I come in? This is the place where they're auditioning for the dance company, isn't it?
I'm sorry. These are open auditions, but it's not an open house.
Oh, that's all right. I'll just tuck myself away in a little corner and you won't even know I'm here.
I'm sorry. There are no spectators allowed. Now, if you want to see the Whitney Dance Company, you're going to have to wait till we open.
Well, look, someone told me that I could come here and watch whenever I wanted.
Who extended this invitation?
Skylar Whitney. Your boss, I believe?
I see.
Yes, he said I could come watch whenever I wanted, so.
We're extremely busy today, Miss...
Swift. Raven Swift. Look, why don't you go talk to Skylar? I'm sure he'll straighten this whole thing out.
Mr. Whitney isn't here today.
Well, then you'll just have to take my word for it, won't you?
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
What is your name?
Wiley. Gavin Wyle. I'm the choreographer. This is also my studio, and what I say goes here.
Oh, Gavin, you don't have to be such a hard nose. We can accommodate Mrs. Swift. After all, a friend of Sky is a friend.
Martine, we don't have the time or space to accommodate this intrusion, especially if it's to please one of Sky's lady friends.
Yes, but I'm sure Mrs. Swift won't be in the way. I take full responsibility. How's that?
All right, but if she gets in the way, she goes. Excuse me, I have auditions to attend to.
He's a little ray of sunshine, isn't he?
Oh, you have to excuse my friend Gavin. He's working under a great deal of pressure lately.
Well, where is Skylar?
Sky is out of town on business. I expect him back tonight, actually.
I see. Well, it's nice to see you again, Martine. I can call you that, can I?
Sure you can.
Well, I know we only met once and very briefly, but, you know, I am sort of the niece of Geraldine Saxon, and Sky is her nephew.
Which makes me a friend of the family.
Yeah, something like that.
And you and Sky cousins.
Well, cousin-in-law, shall we say.
Yes.
He's a very charming man.
Yes, Sky is a very charming man.
Yes. How long have you known him?
Just over a year.
What? Well, that makes you a very lucky girl. I mean, Skylar is a very creative person, and it must be nice to have someone so wealthy in the arts be your friend when you're a dancer.
Yes, it helps at times.
And I hear that you're the star of his company. That's wonderful.
Picked me right out of the gutter. Well, you will excuse me, but I have a lot of work to do. It was nice talking with you.
Yes, we'll have lunch sometime, okay?
That can be arranged.
Have a good audition.
Thank you.
Oh, what do you see in her? Very interesting couple.
Work. The great anodyne.
Don't you believe it?
Of course I do. It's helped me enormously. And I'm going to be forever in your debt for giving me a place to go and something to do.
You did me a favor by taking the job. And I can't see that your life is uneventful, not with Raven living with you. She has a way of filling up people's time.
You may be sure of that.
Oh, how the two of you getting along?
Well, so far we haven't had any serious difficulties. Have you had a chance to speak with her since our last conversation?
No, I haven't.
There's no obligation, you know.
No, I know that, but just the same, I am going to see her. I haven't thanked her appropriately for what she did for me in Oakdale.
Perhaps a thank you note would do if you're worried about it.
Believe me, Geraldine, I have considered that, but no, I owe her more than that. She put her own life on the line for me, going out to the house without the police even being there.
I gather she thought the danger was past.
Just the same. She did save my life. It's about time I showed some sort of gratitude, maybe even friendship.
Well, hello, Raven, and how are you today?
Fine. What are you doing there? I thought that you would be at Gavin Wyle's dance studio.
Well, if you thought that, then why did you call here?
Well, because I was hoping that you wouldn't be at Gavin Wyle's dance studio.
Well, I'm not. No, I've got too many things to take care of around here.
Oh. Are you sure you trust them to hire the dancers without you?
Well, it is their field. Wiley is our choreographer, and he ought to be able to recognize talent by now.
Yes, but are you sure you trust their opinion?
Well, Martine and Gavin are doing the screening. I'm the one who's going to be hiring the individuals, so you don't have to worry about me.
Okay.
But they are taking their sweet time, aren't they?
Yes, they are, and I know why. Martine is stretching out the audition process as long as possible to ensure that her protege, Jody Travis, will be included.
Do you think there's another reason?
Why, do you?
Well, perhaps they enjoy working together.
That's what I like about you, Raven. You never take too much trouble in being subtle.
Did I tell you that I went to the dance studio the other day to watch the auditions? And I hate to be the one to tell you this, but I saw Gavin and Martine, and they were awfully chummy, if you know what I mean. Sky, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh. Well, it was a little embarrassing.
But anyway, I didn't come to talk about them. I called because I want to know about us. When do I get to see you again?
I'll let you know. And you can do me a favor, Raven. Don't you ask me.
Wait.
I'll ask you.
How dare you say
I've got to go now, Raven. Goodbye. Gunther? Gunther!
Yes, Mr. Whitney?
Bring the car around.
want me to do, Mr. Whitney?
Just get some sleep first. I'll have Anderson put you on the 8 to 4 shift, if that's okay with you.
Sure thing. Excuse me, Chief. There's a Ms. Swift on the phone for you.
Oh, really? Thank you. Go on, just sack out.
All right. See you in the morning.
Let me guess. You can't make lunch with me, can you?
Oh, Derek, I feel terrible, but I forgot I have a hair appointment.
You should be more careful, sweetheart. You used that hair appointment excuse 2 days ago. You ought to keep your alibi straight. You're dating a cop, remember?
I do have a hair appointment, and I did have one 2 days ago, but she canceled. She had the flu or something. Now, come on. You don't think I'd pass up lunch with you? I haven't seen you in ages.
No fault of mine.
Well, look, the only reason I want to go there is because I want to look beautiful, and the only reason I want to look beautiful is because of you.
Stop peddling yourself. It's all right. I'll have lunch at my desk. I can get some paperwork done.
See, I did you a favor. I bet you're very busy with Nancy Carr's disappearance and all that.
Well, unfortunately, that's not occupying my time, since there's little I can do about it on this end.
Well, I feel terrible. I wish there was something I could do for Mike.
There's nothing you can do for Mike. But there is something you can do for me.
Name it.
You can have dinner with me tonight.
Tonight?
Since you're taking so much damn time to look so beautiful, the least you can do is show it to me.
Well, I'll have to let you know. My girlfriend, Charlotte...
Charlotte?
Yes, Charlotte. We made some plans tonight, but why don't you call me later? Why don't I call you later, and we'll arrange something.
All right, you do that.
Thank you for being so understanding. Bye-bye.
Hi. How are you?
Wonderful. I was so happy you called this morning. It was much better than an alarm clock.
Yes, something told me that you were still in bed when I called, now that I've heard your sleepy voice.
You have, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was awake. And I was thinking what a dull day it was going to be, and then a miracle happened and you called.
Well, I can't guarantee it won't be dull.
With your company, how could it be?
I told you what we're going to do, didn't I? Or were you too sleepy to understand?
You said we were going flying, and I love to fly.
Mm-hmm. There is a warehouse in Chicago that's loaded with scenery, and since it is too far to drive, I thought we'd fly. We might even be able to have a pleasant lunch there.
Sounds perfect. But why do we have to go all the way to Chicago to look at scenery?
Well, there are these great big painted backdrops that I'd like to use for the dancers, and I hear they can be had for a song.
Just don't ask me to sing one.
No, don't worry. You won't have to sing for your lunch or your supper.
That's included, too?
If we get back in time.
What about Martine? Is she going with us?
Martine is quite busy enough. She's working with our choreographer today. Mm-hmm. Besides, I see her all the time. Being with you is a special treat.
Well, then, let's fly.
Is like this, right?
Except you're supposed to move in the opposite direction, remember?
Yes, I do remember. You've told me that 100 times now.
All right, follow through now. Show me the rest of it.
But why? We've done that yesterday.
Because this is today, damn it.
We'll never get through at this rate. Never.
You're right. We can't work this way. Not with him here.
Whitney, we have clearance from the tower, so whenever you're ready.
Fine, let's go.
Oh, this is great. You didn't tell me you owned a plane.
Oh, well, it must have skipped my mind. Don't forget your seatbelts.
I hope it doesn't muss my jacket. I must look perfect when I meet the famous Schuyler Whitney. I'm sure people expect it of you.
Well, I do like to be in the company of extraordinary women.
We're just props, right?
Now you sound just like Martine.
Wrong. I am nothing like Martine.
Well, I didn't say you were like her.
Well, I'm not. Of course, she's beautiful like me. Although she seems a little cold sometimes, and I'm sure she's a dream when she dances.
Oh.
Men always find women that dance more desirable, don't they?
She really is a fine talent. You should see her.
I wouldn't miss her for the world.
Something tells me you don't like Martine.
You knew damn well I'd hate her. Just like she'd hate me if she knew about me, but she doesn't, does she?
Why should she?
You haven't told her about us. You're not married, and yet you feel some sort of obligation to her. Typical male.
Why borrow aggravation? Now, doesn't that sound logical?
There's nothing logical about this.
You're right. There is nothing logical about it. That's why it's so delightful.
But I'm sure your relationship with Martine is a bit more logical. You obviously mean more to her than just this.
Meaning what?
Meaning you're more to her than just a lover. You pay her room and board, you send her to Europe, you buy a dance company for her, all sorts of goodies.
Why are we talking about Martine? This day is for us.
I'll take it. And, as for the rest of the days, we'll see.
Oh, don't you look nice?
Well, another 10 minutes and I would have canceled the reservation.
You know that I wouldn't miss an opportunity to have dinner with you. My plane just got stacked up over the airport.
How was your trip to Chicago?
It was well worth the time. That scenery warehouse had a few items that we can use.
Good.
I knew that there was no other man in your life, Martine. That you're still all mine.
Can I say that with you?
What do you mean, mon petit chou?
That perfume you smell has a lovely scent. But it's not mine. Don't tell me it's all the warehouse.
Well, I stopped by a department store earlier to buy a little trinket for you, as a matter of fact, and some fool woman sprayed it all over me.
Really?
You know, it's one of those deals where you buy $25 worth of perfume and they give you some makeup or something like that. If you like the scent, I'll buy you some.
Don't take me for a fool.
I do believe I've made you jealous. Well, how about that? But I am innocent of any wrongdoing, Martine.
You can do exactly as you please. But the only male I'm permitted to stay with is Gunther.
You should be flattered that I care enough to have you watched.
Yesterday, I'm flying to Chicago on a Learjet. Today, I'm doing my nails. Oh, I can't stand this. I have to call somebody. April.
Hello.
Oh, April, hi, it's Raven.
Oh, hi, Raven.
Hi. You want to do something? I'm not sure I can today.
Oh, come on. I was thinking we could go to lunch, then maybe take in a movie. How does that sound?
I think I'm really going to have to pass.
Hey, Hey, look, if you're worried about getting a babysitter for Julia, why don't I just come over there and I can hang out and we can watch television and have some wine and... Oh, April, please. Please, come on. Let's have some fun. I'm all alone. I can't stand being all by myself.
Oh, now, come on. Knowing you, I'm sure you'll find something very exciting to do this afternoon.
Is Draper there? Did he come home? Is that why you don't...
No, listen. You'd be more than welcome to come over here, but I'm not going to be here today. There's something that I have to take care of. I'll give you a call tomorrow morning, okay?
Okay.
I'll talk to you then.
Bye.
What's on your agenda for the day, Raven?
Well, I had planned to give myself a manicure. And if nothing else comes up, then that will be the high point of my day.
That busy, eh?
Yes, today's page on my social calendar is blank.
You have no plans at all?
Well, I lead a very boring existence.
Boring existence indeed.
You make it sound as if all I ever do is go skydiving and race fast cars. I wish.
You must be doing something with your time. You've been in perpetual motion all week.
Well, I've been seeing someone. I didn't bring it up because I don't want to discuss it, but he's out of town on business, and I don't know what to do with myself.
I dare say you'll struggle along.
I don't know. I'm bored stiff. With my friend gone, there's nothing interesting to do.
What did you do before you met him? You seemed to pass the time all right then.
Well, I don't have enough money to go shopping. I hate going to movies by myself. All my friends are busy. And I just thought of someone that I might have lunch with.
That must be my business appointment.
I'll get it.
Raven, hello.
Kelly, come in.
Kelly, I believe you know Raven.
Yes, we have met. I half expected her to slam the door in my face, though.
Why would I do a nasty thing like that?
Considering the last time we met?
True.
I hope you're not holding any grudges.
You were right. I was wrong. I made a mistake. You were innocent, and I was going to have you put in jail. If anyone needs to be forgiven, it's me.
You're forgiven.
Thank you. Well, now that that's all straightened out, I'll let you two plan your brilliant strategy for WMON, and I have a lunch date. He doesn't know it yet, but I have a date.